In this episode, I'm joined by Carin Warner, founder of Warner Communications and co creator of Notably Public Relations. We talk about our journey from corporate PR to building a family business, the power of earned media in shaping a brand, and the grit it takes to lead and grow in an evolving media landscape. Let's get into the show. Carin, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Miki.
Yeah, thanks for your time. And as I promised, I'll jump right into questions. So can you share a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and your company?
Sure. So, my name is Carin Warner, and I'm a co founder here at Notably Public Relations. And as co founder, I work actually with my daughter, Carly Martinetti. We're a mother daughter team. And I oversee several accounts, do business, some of the back end of the agency as well, some of the HR and billing, and overall strategy and crisis communications.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's really exciting and interesting that you're working with your daughter. And that
hmm
actually leads to my next question. What inspired you to start your company and how did you get into your role? And then how did you get to work with your daughter?
It's a pretty long story. I know we only have a short while here, but I had been in the PR business for many, many years. I started with Mullen, which became Mullen Lowe. I started their PR division from scratch. And then after several years, I left to start my own agency called Warner Communications, which still exists today. I had that agency for 20 years and then I sold it. And it was just about the pandemic. It was 2020. I had just sold my business and my daughter had worked for me prior, a couple of years before, and I had said, Carly, just go work for someone else. I didn't want to be the only person who was teaching her quote unquote PR. And lo and behold, she was working for another PR firm on the West Coast where she was from at the time. And she was just killing it. She was loving it. They offered to make her a partner. And then when I sold the company and things were getting a little I would say there was a lot of unrest in LA at that time. I don't know if you recall. She said, I think I'm going to come back east. And I said, let's start an agency together. Why are we working on opposite coasts and not together? Let's give it a whirl. And here we are 5.5 years later.
That's awesome.
It's great.
That's just an amazing story too. And then how is it working with your daughter? Because now that I mean, you said that you worked with her before and now, so like is it I mean, obviously sometimes working with a family member, especially with your daughter, might be challenging. Do you run into that or did you guys pass that already?
So, when we started the company, obviously we had to think about who was going to be in charge in a sense. And I had more experience, but she has, the youth and the energy.
Mhm.
And so we're 50-50 partners. And I made a conscious effort to really let her grow and watch her develop and be there for her and help her succeed, but not overtake that and not take the lead, but really be true partners. And that has been wonderful because I see her growing so much. In fact, I don't know if you know the New England Bell Ringer Awards. It's a big award
Mhm.
show in New England. She won a couple of years ago as the up and coming ringer, the Ringer Award, which was for the most up and coming new talent. So she's a natural. She's so good. She's a wonderful media strategist. Um, and so I find that we're very much compatible from an intellectual standpoint, as well as just an outlook on life. And so we get along great. It's a wonderful thrill, to be working with her. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds amazing actually.
People say, I don't know if I could do that with my mother or not. Get that all the time. But yeah, we make it work really well.
That's amazing. Um, so I know I met you through Force Agency Council. So I know you mentioned right just before we start this call, you mentioned about other communities that you have been in. How
Yes.
has part of being a business community like Forbes Council or other ones help you growth?
Well, I love to network, particularly with other women. I think it's inspiring. I love that we help each other. And I find that often when you're a senior person, you don't have a whole lot of people to talk to. And you don't also want to burden your family members necessarily with what went on during the day. I think it's just great to have a coterie of, intelligent women that you can rely on for their point of view and hear that you're not alone in whatever you're going through with clients or with, AI or what have you. And it's so nice. Also, to be able to do it remotely is great because these women are all over the country and in some cases the world, and we all have very similar situations that we're going through. So it's just nice to have that collegial experience. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree a lot. Uh, what do you see the most common pain points you see on your clients
Mm.
struggling? And then how do you help them? What's your unique position to help them better than other agencies?
Well, of course, I'm biased in this answer, but I see them all struggling with how to define their brand. And that sounds so basic, but one of the things I say to clients, either when we're pitching them or when we're onboarding them, is something very simple. And I say, what do you want to be known for? And you'd be surprised, Miki, how many CEOs and senior level people can quite answer that. They start to say, oh, we do this and we do that. No, what do you want to be known for? In the sense that when you think about Volvo, you might think safety.
Mm.
And for Mercedes, you may think luxury. What does your company stand for? And so teasing that out and making sure that then we can provide we do a lot of earned media. That's our big claim to fame, that the earned media will support not just that overarching message, but really what supports it and what makes it different from their perspective. So, we start off very fundamentally, but if you don't have the fundamentals there, then the PR program is not going to work, right? What good is it if it's saying the wrong things? Um, so I think what they are challenged with is also how do we measure that success? That's always been a challenge in PR. I think less so these days. And how do they report back to their bosses? And how do we determine the KPIs? But I think in general, my clients know when we're on track and when we're getting the kind of high level earned media with the right messaging. And then, of course, we do the reporting often to make sure.
This is my naive because we're not a marketing firm, so I'm not too or PR firm. We're a
Mhm.
technology agency. So what's
Okay.
our media? Might be like asking a very basic question.
Okay, great. Yeah. So that's the core of what Notably does. And so it's funny because a lot of people don't know, so don't feel badly
Yeah.
at all. Earned media is getting third party publishers, broadcast media, podcasters to include and write about and promote my clients. So it's the New York Times, it's the Wall Street Journal, it's Business Insider, it's CBS News, it's all of the things that you cannot buy as an ad. So we don't do advertising. I mean, there will be some paid opportunities once in a while that we'll share with clients, but make it very clear that they are paid. Normally, they're sponsorship opportunities, but 99% of what we do is to figure out how do we get them to be covered in news media that's relevant to their market, that will get their prospects to want to work with them.
That's very interesting. I wasn't really too I mean, I knew that channel exists, but I didn't know what it was called. But
Yeah.
if you think about it, it's actually probably a better strategy to be there more for your in front of your potential audience through
Well,
that.
especially today, the LLMs of the world are scraping earned media as number one, not your blogs on your website. They're looking at what's the Washington Post covering. They're looking at what's on CNBC tonight. They're looking at really independent editorial resources, which is who we're talking to. And so if you want to be part of the whole search of the chat GPTs and the Claudes of the world, you better be in earned media because that's where that information is coming from.
It's great. I'm learning new things every day.
So it's more important now than ever
Yeah,
in the marketing mix.
that's awesome. This is actually my favorite question.
Okay.
What would you say is the one skill that's absolutely essential for business owners, leaders, or entrepreneurs?
I love that question. And it's a really simple answer. It's grit. I've never thought of myself as the smartest person in the room by any stretch, but
Mhm.
I work really hard and I don't give up. And I very rarely take no for an answer. And you've got to have that determination as an entrepreneur. I think in anything you do in life, but as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of vicissitudes. You never know what tomorrow will bring or even today. In fact, our motto at Notably, we have, swag and our t-shirts say never dull because you never know what's going to happen. So you have to have that determination and that grit
Mhm.
to just like keep on keeping on and don't let, you know, things get you down. Don't give up. Just do the best you can every day and keep on.
Is there any special things or special method that you do for yourself when you feel like you're losing that?
Well, I love to take walks on my beach and walk runs on my beach every day. In fact, is a nor'easter out here today. I went out today.
Oh, the seen the
And everybody was, "What? How did you even get out there?" I got out the door. I run and walk on that beach every single day. And it's my time in the morning to get grounded, think about things I want to do, and also just appreciate being alive. I'm feeling so lucky, because it's so finite to be on this planet. And I'm very grateful to be on this planet. So I think just being conscious of how precious life is and knowing that, hey, today is the gift. So that helps a lot when things, especially if things aren't going exactly according to plan.
Right, yeah. I resonate with that a lot too, because I try to spend at least 30 minutes to an hour every morning, either walking, working out, or doing something like
Yeah.
sauna or whatever. And that is my time to blank out my mind or sometimes my head
Hmm.
to do that. And then it's been helping me a lot. And I don't remember when I started. I think I heard it from someone. I was like, I'll try that. And I've been doing that for a long time. And I really agree that that's the time that cleanse yourself, I feel like every
Yes.
morning. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is like a cleansing. It's like a whole new lease on life. I was away on a business trip the last couple of days last week in Houston. I didn't get to do that. I
Yeah.
would, 7:30 show up at the meeting and, you don't even get out of the hotel room or conference room. And I did feel the difference. I really did. So this is that's my addiction, if you will,
Yeah.
is to be able to do that every day. I love it.
Me too. And then I'm happy that another person actually does that and benefit from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, where can people learn more about you or connect with your work?
Well, so we're online at notablypr.com. So you'll see our website there. My LinkedIn is pretty active at Carin Warner, CarinWarner. And also, my daughter, co founder, is even more active on LinkedIn at Carly Martinetti. And I think she has close to 90,000 followers. I have about 42,000 followers. So we're pretty active on LinkedIn and we like to share our thoughts of what's going on in our world and help others. Carly, in particular, does a lot of sort of breakdown of media relations strategies and how to pitch the media and how to get good stories and all of that. So if anybody's interested in that, she's really excellent at breaking that down and teaching.
Yeah. And I'll follow up with you, get all the links so we can put it on the show note as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
And I would love to connect with your daughter as well. And then she's up for it.
Yes.
Love to have her here too.
Oh, I'm sure she would love to. She's wonderful, and she likes to talk about the business and talk about what we do. And she could take an even a different tack about. She could tell you what it's really like to work with her mom. So,
That's amazing. I love that.
but it's all been great. And this is 5.5 years now. August will be 6 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And yeah,
Congrats.
and it's very exciting. I just want to mention we do practically every industry. We do B2B, B2C, deep tech, professional services, you name it, supply chain, pharmaceuticals, you name it, we do it. And it's a lot of fun because I love learning about new industries.
That's
Keeps you really
amazing.
fresh.
That's amazing. Anything else to add before we depart?
I'd love to stay in touch with you as well. And yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I'm always happy to, chat and, be a mentor or just be a colleague. I love that.
Sounds great. All right. Thanks for your time again, Karen.
Having me.
All right.
Bye.